It's mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in and say,
oh, God.
So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Chico can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's doing the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Chico can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues. I think she was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Time for the show. I'm late. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about that?
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday, February 14th. Obviously, everybody knows what that date means. We're going to get to that in a second. But before we do that, obviously there was a celebration that was happening today in the sports world in Kansas City that turned into tragedy. And we have to, obviously, something that you cannot ignore. It's something that is very tough to deal with, something that is very unfortunate, something that should never happen. And if you haven't seen the news or you haven't been on the internet, if you haven't been on Twitter, Kansas City was going through their Super Bowl parade, and they had finished it, and they're pulling into Union Station to, I guess, like the last little bit of their parade. Fans are going in to get autographs from the players. All of a sudden, everybody starts scurrying out of Union Station because there were some gunshots that were going off. 3 shooters. And 1 fatality and 25 injured as of now. Obviously, it's an ongoing report, but our thoughts and prayers are with all those in Kansas City right now because that should never happen. I mean, that's something that should have been a celebration, and it turned into a nightmare. And, there's going to be stories that come out of this over the next, days, weeks, and months. We've already seen some video and some stories and some
couple of
accounts
heroes
from, fans tackling a shooter. One of the guys trying to flee, he got tackled by fans. We had other fans trying to help people that were shot and injured. So terrible scene, very tragic scene. You know, obviously there's still information coming in, but our thoughts and prayers are with those in Kansas City and those families of those that are injured and have unfortunately passed. Reminds you just to hold your loved ones a whole lot tighter. Is a day to love on your loved ones. It is Valentines Day. So give your wife or your significant other or your husband or whoever's listening to this show a hug, tell them you love them. And it's a perfect day to do that and show your love for your family. With that being said, we have to get to our sports. It's a sports show. We are 2 days away from college football, not college football.
That would be great.
Definitely not 2 days away from college
But we know
football.
it's even better this time of
What's
year.
better than college football at this time of the year is college baseball. We are 2 days away from college baseball. Jay Johnson spoke to the media today, answered a lot of questions that a lot of people had. Who's going to be the Friday night starter? Thatcher Hurd is officially your Friday night guy, at least on the opening weekend. LSU's got a weird 2-week start to the season. 2 4-game series. So they play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday this week, and then next week they play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have 2 weeks of 4-game series, which is a little different. You don't usually have that. But it's going to be interesting because you're going to see the depth of the pitching staff in full force early on in the season, because not only is it a 4-game series, but it's beginning of the year, so people aren't going to be as stretched out as they would have been middle to end of the season, right? So their innings aren't going to be – they're not going to have – the pitch count's not going to be as high. I thought you were 100% Lloyd going to say something about what he said.
I thought about it,
I know you did.
and then the moment passed and I missed it.
I'm glad that you did. I'm glad. Look, it's maturity by you.
It was.
You're showing a lot of
I put it on the rim. I didn't know
You
what he was going
did.
to do with
I
it.
almost didn't say what you said.
I saw you trying to stay away from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You went for it. I appreciate you saying that. These pitchers are they're not in midseason form. Oh, that light.
Oh. What about it?
Never mind. It's fine. They're not in midseason form, so they don't have. There we go.
That'd be light.
There we go.
Producer just deucing over
That's
there.
it. They don't have the innings. They have inning limits. They have pitch limits right now. And so you're going to see the bullpen get used early and often the first 2 weeks of the season. And so I'm anxious to see what happens there. I'm anxious to see the depth. You're going to see a lot of young guys. You're going to see a lot of people play and a lot of people pitch. And some young guys get in there early in the season. I think that's going to be good for the team. So I'm looking forward.
Also, when you see these lineups and these people coming in and out of this thing, don't think it's a panic it's a lot going on.
No, this is an opportunity.
There's 2 more ball games. There's, 18 more innings that you're not used to getting in that kind of a span of a window that you're going to get now. It's opportunities.
No doubt. Listen, when I was a freshman, one of the biggest things that happened when I was a freshman first few weeks of the season was we were able to get all of us in and get some opportunity and get your feet wet, get some at-bats, get some innings on the mound. Like, you're able to get some of these early season jitters out of the way early on because these games kind of got out of hand. I'm not saying they're going to go out and blow out everyone, but talent-wise, they probably should go out there and take care of business and allow all these guys to have opportunities to get in the game.
Question: do you think is the 10-run rule thing SEC thing, or is it a complete schedule thing?
I think it is a.
And it's not in the SEC.
Oh, it's definitely in the SEC for sure.
I think it's a complete schedule thing.
So if that may be why Jay chose to do this, then that would make a lot of sense. In the sense of, like, say, if you run into a situation where there is 1 to 2, then you also have the next game, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
You can actually still get the work in for the pitchers and get guys in.
I think it's a 10 rule. I think it's a 10-run rule is in effect if both teams agree, which I imagine both teams would agree, especially early on in the year. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, this show, we are an all-sports show, but everybody thinks that we're just a baseball show. We love baseball. We're going to talk a lot about baseball. On Monday, we broke down the bullpen. We broke down some of the arms that we would expect to see out of the bullpen, what we can expect to see from these guys, what we want to see from these guys. Today, we're going to break down some of the position player depth, and our awesome photographer and videographer
And friend.
and social media
Savant.
expert and friend, partner, teammate, clubhouse guy, glue guy, Jack, has been at the games, at the press conferences, doing all
The leg
of
work.
the dirty work. And
Boots
he
to the pavement.
Grinder.
Yes, no doubt. Boots on the ground. Listen, we're grinding. We're doing our things. He's grinding. And he got some video of a couple guys that we want to break down some of their swings. Now, just to preface this is one swing out of a whole bunch. Don't have the situations, don't have the counts, don't have the pitches, all we have is a side view.
We don't even have 6 more swings.
Right. We just have one swing. We haven't studied them. But we're studying this one swing, and we're going to tell you what we like about it because there's these 2 swings that we're going to show. There's a lot to like on what you see, and there's a lot to like because of what is still left in the tank.
Yeah.
Right? And so we're going to break that down. We're going to try to do that throughout the course of the year and just break down some of our favorite swings of the games, of the weekend, of what we want to do, and tell you why they were so good or some swings that made why they didn't turn out so good. And so we're going to start doing that. Obviously, there's 2 days left. We have opening days on Friday during the day. Today is Valentine's Day, so it is going to be a sprint of a show. We will be done at 7. Wife Mahtook,
Put the hammer down.
you gotta punch the time clock.
That's right.
You gotta do the things that you need to do. She deserves this day, and so we're gonna have a nice little dinner after this. So 6 to 7. I hope everybody that's listening who has a significant other. If you're not listening, then I hope you're out at dinner with your wife, girlfriend, fiance, boyfriend,
Lover.
whoever.
Love is love, baby.
Side piece.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever.
That would be maybe
That's
two.
tough.
Maybe 2 dinners.
We
We saw a lot of early lunches around here today. I mean, a lot of
That
early
would
dinners.
be very. I mean, that's hard. I've never understood how somebody could have like a double life.
Who's the baseball player? Bartolo Colon.
Is it Bartolo? I don't know. Like,
Bartolo had a double life?
there's a lot of.
He had
There's
a whole
lot of
family in his native land.
There's a lot, but like that's just so hard to navigate.
It's a lot of work.
One, it's impossible to do right now. Like with
lot of
social media and like, it's got to be impossible. People still do it somehow.
Hey, that's a whole lot of work. I don't know. You ever seen Dr. Death?
I'm watching it right now.
He was doing it.
Yeah, but
He was doing it.
That's
That man was doing it around the world.
I'm
Dr.
in the middle of-
Kevorkian?
I'm at the
Dr. Death.
I'm right at the point where she's about to figure it out.
Ooh, it's good. It
I
gets
know. And listen to me.
So in the
Shame on her.
good. For letting it go
She's
that
in the
long?
media. She is like a famous media. She's a media personality. She is a famous investigative reporter or whatever she is.
Some could say
This is
she-
2014.
Hey, some could say she actually was the start of his career.
No doubt.
In the sense of she was kind of the one that pubbed it.
No doubt. And so my whole thing is you have access
that nobody else has.
to a lot of resources.
Lloyd's interested. He hasn't
I've
seen
never
this.
even heard of this show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
good.
dude. Well, the first Dr. Death
Yeah.
is crazy.
The first one was in Dallas. A doctor in Dallas.
Yeah, it's real, all true.
Both of
Oh,
these?
these are true stories. Like
Yeah.
legit true stories. And they're wild.
Wow. The first one, more wild than the second one,
Yeah.
but the second one's like still
The
pretty
first
Second one, shame
the
on
first
you.
one, the first one's doctor wise, way more wild.
Yeah, right.
The second one is still wild in his practice, but his personal
He's
life
wild
was
in
even
his
wilder.
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like she had access to find out. We're getting off the rails a little bit, but this is Valentine's Day. It's love.
This is love.
That
she
was
had
not
access.
love.
That was not.
Just
she
she had
had
too much love to
access.
give.
And I don't want to spoil.
Yeah,
but
I think you're getting in spoiler territory.
bro. He promised her some things and told her some things. I'm like,
That was way just.
how do you think this is possible?
You need to see.
You didn't even gonna fact check him on this.
need to
You
see it.
knowing this is your job, you're not even gonna fact check him.
Oh, so this is like a Adam Schefter, Washington Commanders love affair type deal where
No.
she may be publishing things with her heart instead of with her mind.
Yeah.
Not doing her due
Yeah.
diligence on the information.
She didn't
she's
have
giving.
to do the due diligence, but just the
No,
things
the
that were
doctor
promised to her
side.
were so wild, and she had the resources to say, you know what? Let me look into this.
Yeah,
and she just never.
She did the due diligence early.
She
on
wanted
the,
to
on the
believe.
professional side, and then it got to be a little bit more personal. And then I think she got clouded, and then
She got the googly?
She did not do any due diligence from the
blinded.
personal side. No.
Blinded by
Hey,
the
you're,
booty.
you're at a good part though. Wait until she. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Which credit the parents
It's unbelievable.
in on it.
It's unbelievable. This guy was Mr. Worldwide.
Okay.
Love
Anyway.
it.
Anyway.
Kind of dog.
Wild.
Lloyd's going straight to the TV.
Oh,
when
no
he was-
doubt.
Wild. Jay Johnson had his press conference today to announce, obviously answer some questions leading up into the first game of the season. He announced Thatcher Hurd is the Friday night guy. That's kind of what we assumed was going to happen. He's been there this will be his second year. Finished the season off really strong. Seems like he's the guy that has that should get that first
inside
nod.
track.
Luke Holman will pitch on Saturday. You have 1A and 1B now again on your team, and Luke Holman is a preseason All-American. Thatcher Hurd's a preseason All-American. Sunday and Monday, your third and fourth starter, TBD. We'll find that out probably on Saturday.
1 and 2 go.
Depending on how 1 and 2 go. Look, there's a lot of guys they can throw in there. It's going to be anxious to see how they navigate that.
And that's what a lot of these games are, first of all. I always feel like you need to preface the beginning of the year in baseball season that it's not football season. It's to temper your mindset and expectation. A lot of this is figured out throughout the year, not just in practice. Some of these games are used to see what works and what doesn't in live action.
The main thing to get through the first month of the season is wins, right? You're going to play some teams early on that you are just better than and you're more talented than. And in those games, you want your talent to win out. It doesn't have to always be the prettiest thing in the world, but play the game the right way, use the talent that you have, and win those games. Now, as you progress and you play some teams, so the first 2 weeks, you're playing teams that you're clearly more talented than. But baseball is a crazy game. Any team can beat anybody any given day. The third week is when you go to the Shriners Classic in Houston. You're going to play Texas. You're going to play some bigger teams, and so you're going to start seeing the talent gap narrow, and that's when you want to see. All right, let's see what the first couple weeks have done. First 8-9 games that you've played, how have you adjusted? How have you kind of gotten settled in? So it's going to take a little time. It's not like.
What he says the main thing is wins. Obviously, wins are obviously the main thing. But to me personally, it's health, right? Like, can we play this first month of the schedule and keeping as many guys healthy as possible? Because let's be honest, how hard is it to hit your stride if you're not healthy and not out there? So by the time we get to SEC ball, you want to have an idea of what you got because guys have been able to get out there consistently and kind of get going and get to see stuff. So I think health to me was what's main because it's really hard to figure out what you got without actually getting out and playing on. And there's a lot of guys that are, I won't say unproven, but they're unproven in purple and gold. And that's what you're trying to figure out what you got.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I would say, like finding your role
right
on the team or coaches
especially
finding
with
a
the
spot.
pitching.
And that's always going to evolve.
Right.
But you want to start seeing some of it
That final
happen
form.
in the
There
first
isn't
couple
many
weeks.
Tommy Weiss. There isn't many Hayden Travinskys. Like
Pencil them in.
when those guys are in, you know where they have to be. Like
Yeah.
I don't care if Tommy White's hitting 062. We're not hitting him in the 8-hole. Like if he's there, we're probably not gonna play him because I promise you, if you hit him in the 8-hole, you ain't gonna be getting much out of him anyway. So it's it's one of those things. There isn't many of those guys where where they're penciled in at hell or high water, right? The rest of we got to figure out what's going on here. We got to figure out what we got.
It's a good problem to have.
No doubt.
And as deep as LSU is.
One of their biggest arms that got hurt last year is Chase Shores. We had talked about this last year when he got hurt. The time he had gotten hurt is the middle of the season, right, or beginning of the season. So usually when you have a Tommy John injury, especially as a pitcher in the season, you're gonna miss that season and the next season. And he did it early in the season, so at best, Jay says he's gonna be ready towards the end potentially if he pitches at all.
Yeah.
He made sure he said if he throws at all, which we didn't expect him to throw at all this year. If he just continues to progress and no setbacks, nothing, maybe you could see him a little bit in the postseason. But at that point, if you don't need him, why push it? So, I know a lot of people were curious about that, but
I'd be hesitant to put him out there even if he seemingly is ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Just because
right.
without there being a dire need, you always need arms. That's obviously there couldn't be any year that was more true than last year. But if there's not a dire need for him to be out there, meaning you're that thin and he's ahead of schedule, it's really tough to put him in a situation because if God forbid if something bad were to happen again, you're looking at another 2 years, right? That means he didn't throw this year. He'll come in and something could possibly go bad. Then he won't throw again next year if something were to happen. That's another, that's another 2 years that you basically. So it's, it's one of those situations.
And I think the way that Jay answered the question first said, the way that he phrased it felt like it was going to be postseason baseball. Like if we super regional, whatever, which I don't know if he wants to put him in a high level situation out there for the first time, or it's a situation in which they're thin, and it's not worked out the way that you thought the bullpen would, which I find hard to believe.
Yeah.
So I would, and the way he finished the question obviously was, we're putting the player first and foremost because it already happened last year.
Yeah.
Like there's not, so I'd be surprised to see him, but those are the two situations in which where it looks like, bro, I'm 100%.
And a guy with as much upside as him,
right?
I don't mean that like you should treat other players as less, but you just have to do right by guys like that. Because what happens is if you don't do right by guys with that kind of upside, you no longer get guys with that kind of upside. So that's why you really have to do right by guys like that.
No doubt. This Wednesday,
Valentine's Day.
this Valentine's Day, right now.
Me too, day.
Today.
Yeah.
That's what I was still
Me
getting
day's
to.
almost over.
This Wednesday, right now, in this moment, in the present time, we're going to break down some of the position players, right? We're not going to break down the swings yet. We talked about the bullpen. We don't know, much to the dismay of a lot of people in our chat, we do not know what the starting lineup is going to be. We're not going to predict what the starting lineup is going to be. We imagine that we know what probably the starting nine is going to look like on Friday. In what order, I do not know. Okay? But what I think is just as important as the starting nine is who comes in after them, who's on the bench, who is there in case something were to happen to any of the starters.
They look for those guys to get starts later in the weekend too.
Right. Obviously you go down the 9 guys that you know are going to – let's go 10 guys that you know are going to get significant at-bats. You're going to have Tommy White, obviously, right? He's your guy. You're going to have Travinsky in there. You're going to have Milazzo in there. You're going to have Braswell in there. You're going to have Jared Jones in there. You're going to have Jake Brown in there. That's 6. You're going to have Paxton Kling in there.
That's
That's 7.
Pearson.
You're going to have Pearson.
That's 8.
You're going to have you are going to have, I'm drawing a blank, you're going to have Mac Bingham in there.
Uh-huh.
So that would be 9. That's probably going to be your starting 9 in whatever order they want to make it out to be, right? But you also have some other guys that have kind of like opened some eyes. Steven Milan's been one of those guys. He not a big kid. He's 5'8", but
Compact.
He's very compact. He's put together some really good swings throughout the course of the fall and then the spring leading up into the season. He's an infielder. You have Napolt, who's still on the team, who's going to be obviously your defensive guy at the back end of the game when they need him. He's experienced. You have Mick Pauls in there for his second year. Brady Neal is going to get some time behind the dish. I'm throwing out some names that you're probably going to hear a little bit, and some guys you may not hear about. Ethan Fry, I think, is one that you're going to see a lot more of, and I don't think people have forgot about him a little bit, but he's one of the swings that we're going to talk about and break down, talk about what we're excited. One, great baseball body. I mean, this man's 6'5", 230 pounds, and he's not too big.
It's all in the right places.
I mean, he's lean, but also big. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know.
It's
You got
Valentine's Day.
a little excited. You got a little excited.
Valentine's Day.
He
Probably having
unmuted
a
his
great
mic to
one.
say that. That's
know
how
he did.
excited he was.
Oh, yeah.
Zeb Riddell is there. He's a redshirt freshman.
The zebra.
He seems like you follow the stats on Twitter, and he's always hitting a home run or doing something. He has super high exit velos. Wouldn't be shocked if you saw him sneak into the lineup a little bit. And there's some of these freshman guys, if they have an opportunity, they just can't come out of nowhere. I can promise you, my freshman year, nobody was talking about me before the season started. There was a podcast or YouTube show in 2009.
It was.
No conversation.
Tiger droppings.
Yeah, there's no conversation about me. And so my point in saying that is there's some guys in there that I'm hoping will maybe, raise some eyebrows and
There's
say,
always that.
Man, this guy's going to jump in.
There's always going to
No
be
doubt.
a name that was not spoken about, that is going to come out hotter than a firecracker, that's going to play well through the season, that's going to force his way into some regular type of action.
Yep. I think what you can see or what you can expect is there's a lot more depth in the infield than I initially thought.
There's options.
So obviously Brazel's a starting shortstop, and Pearson's gonna be your starting second baseman, and Tommy White's your starting third baseman. Jared Jones is your first. That is your infield. But then some of these guys that are kind of playing really well in the fall and this early spring all seem to be infielders. The Steven Milam kid is a freshman, but he's an infielder, right? He's kind of turned some heads and done some things that people keep talking about. It's like, man, this guy's really good. And if you remember, Jay came on here a few weeks ago and talked about how he's impressed with the depth that they already have in the infield, and that was echoed by some of the players that have come on the show and said, okay, listen, we have our guys in the infield, but the depth of these young guys that have shown the potential that they have and the ability they have has been one of the more surprising things, which I think is good to hear, because you can't have too many infielders, right? Because if one of those guys, if Braswell goes down, you don't have anybody else that can play shortstop, that is a killer, right? And so to find out that these guys are improving and putting themselves in a position where they are, they're the coaches and the players are confident and counting on them, I think that's a huge step. Because if not, then you're scratching and clawing, trying to figure out somebody who can catch the ground ball.
Let's be honest too. Like, being a really good infielder, if somehow, some way we need you to play infield somewhere, there's probably a good chance we can fill you in. If somehow, some way you get hot with the bat and there's a spot for you to fill in the outfield, there's a chance for you can just by being able to do that. The majority of those guys are interchangeable in the sense that they can play multiple positions and they can go everywhere. Mikie wasn't going to come play third base for you. I wasn't going to play shortstop for you. It just wasn't going to be a thing. And it's not anything against this, but like, we were outfielders, right? Some of these guys that are good infielders, a lot of the time they can move around to different positions, which only bodes well for your team.
Right.
I mean, what got, like, I guess during, I don't know if it was during your time or after, but Jared Foster, whenever he moved to second base, like, do you remember, like, what was the impetus for that? Was his offense was too good to be able to get him out of the lineup?
They wanted to get him in the lineup.
His bat needed to get in the lineup. Yeah.
And I would have to, if I had to, his better position is outfield.
Yeah. Right?
That was his thing. But he could play the infield, and he was swinging a hot bat, and so they had to find a spot for him. And he's very athletic, and he could have done, you give him enough time in the infield, he's going to figure it out. He played infield in high school, and he's done both in high school, so he had the ability to do it. And I think that's the thing. If you've played in the dirt before, and you've been able to field ground balls and kind of understand how to move around the infield, you can make that adjustment. I never did that. They tried to play me at shortstop my freshman year in high school, and that was a disaster.
I stopped playing shortstop when I was 10, so it's been a while since I.
I mean, I could range left and right with the best of them. You hit the thing at me though. Not great. Not great.
Turned into a zoo real quick.
Kicking around, just not good.
Throw it in the sixth row. We got the long arm swing too. So,
I tried to get from the ear, it didn't work.
To get one a little airmail. It's just
how long did you last?
A shortstop?
Yeah.
Tryouts.
No, I played games. I played games. I played freshman games.
Freshman, okay.
So I was playing shortstop on the freshman team, not playing shortstop on the varsity. I was in outfield.
We're gonna get a project.
They put me at shortstop because we didn't have a lot of guys we made a bunch of errors as a freshman team. So hey, we're gonna put you in a shortstop. Nope, I made just as many errors. They looked a little different.
Kicking around.
Well, he looks good moving. Just when it gets there, it's not good.
A little different. Oh man, boy, he can throw it across the diamond. He just got to get the ball in his glove. Now, if I'm moving, I don't have to
say that rangy backhand. I'm sure they're like, there's a lot of there.
No doubt. If I'm moving, I didn't have to think about anything. It was great.
No 1-2,
receive
it.
That when it's this is 2 hops, hard hops. Damn, it's not good.
Should have just played it the same way. It's instinct.
Just keep running.
Just go at everything.
There's one, I'm catching the outfield, like a ground ball in the outfield.
Exactly. Get down on the knee.
But then you got to get that, that arm slot down here, and that becomes a different ball game
or
too.
just shuffle 100 miles an hour.
And then the first person will be like, bro, don't do that again. I'm not catching the next one.
That's
gonna move.
That would be my only move. That didn't work out. But my point in saying that is, if a guy has done it before, It's an easier adjustment. Pearson.
there's
Pearson
no-
is a prime example.
That's what we're gonna see.
Right. He came in as a second baseman.
Yeah.
They moved him to the outfield because of his bat. And they had the infield already set. Now they need him to move back to second because they don't have a second baseman. He's the guy going back to the position he was recruited at. And you get his bat in the lineup. So,
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's the one that you would circle out. Imagine it feels like a lot of people are just assuming he's going to be great at second or formidable at second, like almost an upgrade defensively from what you got last year. I think he'll be flush whenever he goes in, and especially what you were able to get from Dugas at second, whatever. I mean, that was a prime example of moving somebody to the infield for the bat. He gets hurt playing second, but you could see that wasn't his primary position.
Right, and look, I mean,
Pearson will probably look a little smoother.
All reports from Pearson, he looks great at second.
Yeah.
And the double plays have been good. And I think that's the biggest
transition.
No, not transition, but like that's the biggest test case, right? Like, hey, you can field the ground ball and you can make the throw to first to get him out.
Who was playing second before Duga?
Before the year before?
Yeah.
Doty, right?
That sounds right.
Or was Doty playing short? No, I think Thompson was playing short.
Yeah.
Doty was playing second.
My only reason for asking is I think that's kind of how what I was talking about. That's kind of how it happened for him. Is hey, you come in here, this bat found you a way in here somewhere, which was you got to go out there in that grass,
right?
And then it just kind of stuck there. And next thing you know, here he is. We back to what you do. Like this is what you came here to do.
No doubt. And I think a test case of knowing when your middle infield or your second baseman or shortstop are playing really well is how many double plays are they able to turn, right? Like, are you turning 4-6-3 double plays? And that means the second baseman's fielding the ground ball, getting rid of the ball to the shortstop. Shortstop's getting it, the feed, and throwing the ball to first base. And there's a lot that needs to go right with that. You need to catch the ground ball cleanly. You need to be quick with the transition. You have to have a good feed to the shortstop. The shortstop's got to be able to get the ball, transition, and make a nice throw to first base. Right? There's a lot that goes in there.
And you got to bully it over at first.
And you have to either make it in the chest, or you have to hopefully have a first baseman that can help pick what you had last year. Now flip it 6-4-3, shortstop always usually pretty good with the glove, good feed. That's where the second baseman turns the double plays. Hey, how quickly are you getting the ball out of your glove, getting out of the way of the runner, and being able to make a strong, accurate throw to first base? I think that's where you see. In 2009, we have a All-American shortstop.
Number one shortstop coming in.
We have an All-American second baseman, actually, because he's hit 23 home runs. But we had not turned one 6-4-3 double play all year.
Which is mind-blowing.
Going into like the third to last weekend of the season.
Of the SEC. Had not turned a 6-4-3 double play. So what does coach do? He says, okay, this is a problem, right? We're scoring and we're banging. We got to keep Ryan Schiff in the lineup, and we got to keep DJ in the lineup. But how do we figure out how to turn more 6-4-3s, more double plays, get more outs? Hey, let's put our freshman in there who's really good at shortstop, and is about as good a defender at shortstop as we've ever had. Let's put him there. Let's move DJ to short, which means a second, which is a huge move because he's hitting 360. He was the number one shortstop in the country coming in. He's an All-American. He's going to be a first, second round pick. But you're going to move him out. He hasn't done anything wrong. You got to get him to buy into that. Then you got to get your second baseman, who's been there for 3 years, who's an All-American, who has 23 pumps. You got to get him to buy in and moving to the outfield / first base / hey, wherever we need you got to play, right? And then you put a freshman in center, and you put a guy from left to right in Jared. So it's like you have a lot going on. It worked. Because that made a huge – we turned, I think, 7 or 8 6-4-3 double plays from that point forward moving to the rest of the year. Austin only made one error that whole year when he was in there. My point in saying that is to me, that's the biggest determining factor of your middle infield and how good the defense is. How well are y'all turning double plays? How well do you work together?
Yeah, it's such a timing and orchestration thing.
Yep.
If you don't work well together, you're not going to – usually does it either flips off, you don't know how to react to it, so having a new – middle infield probably bodes well as opposed to Thompson, who would be used to it a certain way, but like getting to start from ground zero together, I'd imagine helps a little bit.
For sure. I know they've taken a bunch of reps.
Yeah, for me, like it's the double plays, like the the cherry on top for me. But it's when I know you have a good infield when it's balls that are put on the ground. If they're caught cleanly, outs are made. Like it's not caught, maybe bobble, maybe caught, maybe thrown, and it's a little off. But it's not an error, but it's a little off. Or caught, double clutch, can't get it there on time. It's when balls are caught, outs are made. That's when I know, okay, they're sound here. They're very solid on the infield. And then put the cherry on top is we start turning double plays when there's chances to do it.
Yep.
2 outs is big. You only need
2 outs
three.
is big. 2 outs is
Well,
big.
2 for 1, huh?
Yeah.
2 for 1's
Thank
big
you.
time. That's what you need. Hopefully these two guys that we break down these swings, they're not giving many 2 for 1s.
Gotta stay away
Maybe
from
2
this.
homers, or maybe 2 RBI doubles, or maybe, the good 2s,
The good 2s.
not 2 outs.
Crooked 2s.
Both these guys, I think you're going to see a lot of this year. Now, like I said, we have seen one swing, right? We're breaking down one video of one swing. We haven't seen it. We don't know the situation. We're just basing it off of what we see on this swing. Both of them are really good swings. Both of them are really good things. Paxton Clean's going to be your starter in center field. This is the first one we're going to break down. So you want to put it on there? Boom. Okay, so we're going to show you fast motion first. Full speed. Oh, we got the double box up top. You may want to move Jared down so you can see him.
Segment brought to you by Leonard.
There you go.
Boom. So
Good
that's
rhythm
Oppo.
going. Like it.
Driven. He likes it. Likes it. So it's going to be a double. Loves it. Okay. So here's what I like. And you want me to go first, you go second, or you want to do it together?
You can do it
Let's go together.
Yeah,
Okay.
Do it together.
So this is it in a little bit more
It's at
slow-mo.
like
So when
25%.
it
No,
goes
I'm
toe-touch, I
good.
want you to stop.
Yeah, and I'm good. I enjoy watching him have rhythm and going. There's a lot of guys that sometimes
That's a
get
huge
staticky, and rhythm comes from different ways. Like the guys find different ways to get a rhythm going. But what you don't want to be is just completely frozen.
No doubt. Now listen, you have rhythm like you had Gary Sheffield rhythm, right? That's a lot. You have other guys do rhythm with their hands, like they don't even move their bat. You have some guys kind of
Some guys
here,
get it
some
with their
guys
feet.
wiggle.
Some guys get it with their hips.
Right, and so some type of rhythm to kind of people like to say dance with the pitcher.
Yeah.
Similar, right? Rhythm. Now he loads into his back hip, which I think is huge. Stop. Okay. So he loads down into his back hip, and he sees he gets some separation. Now I want to go through the full swing, and I'll tell you what we like mostly about it, because the swing's a great swing. Like I said, it's just one swing that we saw.
Yep.
And I'm going to say we're going to talk about what we wish that we love this swing, and we're going to talk about why we think it could be even better. Stop. So toe touch, he is launching at the ball. Right now, he's got his elbow here. His first move is this way, right? Like he's coming through and staying tight to his body, which I love.
Stay there, Lloyd. Yeah, don't move too far. Stay there. And as I see this too, it's tight. It's a great spot. But for me, it is almost like that's the first move that we get right there. And I'm like, if I froze you right there and I said, hey, do you think you're at the most productive, most explosive, most powerful spot that you could be in? I think we could all sit here and say, there's a little more in the tank.
Definitely.
And there's, now understand that doesn't mean that he's in a bad spot at all. At all. But it's scary to think, hey, a guy that's 6'3", that's that long, that has some power, you're
We
like,
just want Oppo double.
Oppo double, that easy of a swing, you're like, wow, you mean there's more in that
Yep.
tank? I think there is.
No doubt. I agree. I think if he gets a little bit more separation back here, and people call it a scapula, that's what I would like to call it. It's basically the rubber band effect. You're not pushing your hands back. You're getting in your back here. So when you stride, you're generating that rubber band effect, which means your hands necessarily aren't moving back, but you're striding and they're staying there.
And they're keeping you back
And
as
they're,
well, if that
exactly.
makes any sense.
You're kind of stacked over your backside. So get back to the when he's offering at the pitch, because I'm gonna show you what he does really well, and we both love this. So right when he starts to offer at it, I want you to stop it. Right there. All right. So right now, when you're looking at this, that you're talking about, does he have more in the tank? Before that, yeah. But then, okay, now he's offering at it. That is about as powerful of a spot that, from where he was at in the stance, that he could possibly be, because his hands aren't away from his body. He's not out here with his lower half. He is super tight with his hands.
Boom, that's
and
the
is
word there.
keeping it absolutely.
That's the word there.
Super tight. to his
I love the path. I think the path is very, very, very elite. When I look at it, I like to talk about. It seems like he understands the concept of making his move with his body, with his figure inside of the baseball. Because now if you're able to do that, you're able to give the barrel of the bat the opportunity to get into the zone early, and you're able to give the barrel of the bat the opportunity to work through the entire zone, as opposed to the thought of maybe taking your hands or the knob straight to the ball. Well, that's fine, but you better be absolutely elite with hand-eye, because you're going to have a very, very, very short window to make really good contact. By being able to make his move inside of the baseball and not basically at the baseball, now you're allowing that bat to work through that zone the whole way.
And another part of this is you see his head. He's behind the baseball, right? Like he's offering at it, and it's hard because I'm sitting down, but he's offering at it, but he's behind the baseball. He's not offering at it and he's out in front of it, right, with his eyes. He's behind the baseball, so he's seeing the baseball. And so when he's – and the beauty of this is when you watch this, when he finishes the swing, this pitch just kind of gets in on him.
Yeah.
Right? Like he doesn't get full extension. So it's kind of in, but he's so tight to his body, and he's so good with where he needs to be position-wise, that contact, that even though that ball's inside, he's able to drive that to right center, and that tells me that he's in a really good spot.
Yeah, and to add on that too is like once you see him get to contact, if you watch basically like his back arm, his backside, it's still going to and absolutely all the way through the pitcher, which lets me know that the direction's elite. The path is elite, and that's what's given him the opportunity to take a pitch that got in on him a little bit, but still be able to hit it to right field for a double, and an easy double, obviously. Like, watch his back arm and how it's still – watch the bat still going straight forward, all the way forward through the baseball. And then come out of the zone, straight forward.
You see a lot of people talk about palm up, palm down, right? It's like when you're offering and you come here, you want palm up and palm down kind of thing, right? And you watch his finish – he is here, and he's getting through it, and his palm up, his palm down. He stays through it. Watch out. See? You see how it keeps coming through? And that is a really good
And here's another thing, too. Like, if you go back a little bit, I think a lot of people teach this. I think a lot of people talk about this. But the thought process of your hands needing to be above the barrel and people not understanding the angles, stop it right here, the angles of the barrel as it goes through the zone, that barrel's pointing downward. Mm-hmm. Right? That barrel's not straight ahead. It's not parallel in the zone, and it's damn sure not going down here. That barrel has gotten in the zone, and it is traveling under his hands, where his hands are above the barrel through the entire swing. That matters.
Yep.
That matters.
It's a great swing.
And if you
Great
go back
result.
a little bit too, Lloyd, what I love too is we talked about the tempo early, right? But we'll get to, and I'll tell you when to stop it. Go ahead and stop it right here where this heel strike is, right? So he's right now, this is at his launch position. He will be able to pull the trigger at any point right here, right? Tell me if you see a baseball yet. You don't. Meaning he understands timing and rhythm and all of those things. He's at a spot right here where I'm ready to pull the trigger and the ball isn't even in the frame yet.
Right.
Right? So now I don't have to be early. I could be a little bit late. I have time to see the baseball from my last spot, right? That's why I said the heel strike, because that's where I'm ready to go. Like I'm making the decision. I can go now. And when you're at that spot and you're able to do that, a lot of things can happen. And it allows you to be able to make this move that he's making where he's staying inside of something seemingly that got in on him a little bit.
No doubt. And you look at this, like you look at his lower half. So when he decides he's foot's down, he's ready to offer at it, there's no drift with his hips. There's no drift with the lower half. It is, hey, I'm here and I'm gonna get after it. With
everything's turning around what is his head. That head's a center spot that pretty much stays still, and now the body is moving around the head.
Right. Like, boom, toe touch, head stops moving, and now he's got all that. That is a great swing. And the ball got in on him. He drove an opposite field double. Like, that is picture perfect.
And at the end of it, too, when we talk about direction and path, when you get a ball that gets in on you and you're able to drive it the other way, and look at how balanced he is at the end of this swing. If he wanted to, he could literally walk straight towards the pitcher at the end of this if he really wanted to. That's how balanced he is in the swing.
Yep.
I mean, look at that.
Great swing. Great swing. So
that plays.
definitely plays, right? And we know how talented our pitching staff is, right? And so the fact that he's able to do that right now tells me he's in a really good place going into the beginning of the season. You're going to see a lot of that. We're going to try to break down a little bit more as the season goes on, but that is a good start. Bring up the next one.
Need to go straight to Fry.
Yep. Fry, you got it right. Good job.
Thank you.
So we talked about – so this is different, right? Because so Fry is bigger. He's taller. He's 6'5". He's got – both of these swings are simple, right?
Yeah.
Paxton Kling didn't have a lot of movement. He had some rhythm in his swing, and he stride, no high leg kick, none of that kind of stuff. But it was very simple, and it was compact. This one, even more simple. Is it simpler?
Even simpler.
Even simpler than Paxton Kling because he's got a wide stance, no stride, and he uses his rhythm with his hands and his lower half to be on time, right? And so I don't know if this is a two-strike approach. I don't know if this was him doing this as every swing or every count, but I really do like it. I think he's got a lot in the tank. I think that if there's a two-strike, it's a great two-strike approach.
Do it again. Lloyd, back.
But I think you're going to see a lot because if he's doing this right now,
Stop.
he's going to have a lot. You're going to have a lot more of
Stop
him in
it
the
right here.
lineup.
Stop. So, literally, like the frame right before that, to me, he is so rooted into that backside and able to move. And I think when I see somebody in that position, lower half wise, I know, all right, I don't know what else he's got going on, but there's a very good chance he's in the fight, meaning he is going to give himself a chance and he is going to be able to put a lot of barrel on the ball a lot of times very consistently because that's a position that's impressive to get to.
And another part of that is you don't ever want to see your back knee go over your foot, right? You don't want to see your back knee go this way because now you're losing balance, you're moving your head. So he's in his backside. I know doesn't have a lot of movement in his lower half, but he's on his backside. You see how he's loading almost into his back hip, into his butt.
Almost when you see kind of like I've heard pitchers kind of talk about it sometimes where you almost see that back pocket kind of be presented to the pitcher or as a pitcher presented to the hitter. He does a pretty good job of that as a hitter as well, as being able to stay in that to be able to drive yourself forward.
Now go slow-mo. So whenever there's no toe touch because there's no heel strike because he's already on the ground. He's already grounded. But when he starts moving forward.
Yeah, he has it still.
Yeah. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that is a powerful,
very powerful
launch
position.
spot.
Yeah.
And that's not barred out. That's not pushing your arms out. That is, hey, I'm here and I'm getting forward and I have a lot of rubber band left, right? And this, look, he's long.
Yeah.
So he's got long arms, long legs. He's got to fight to stay inside of pitches, right? Some people say, I wish I had short arms when I hit because it's easy to get inside of the baseball. Yeah, it's true. But if you can get inside of the baseball with long arms, that extension through is
and honestly, all that really is too is knowing where you need to be able to stand on the plate to be able to cover the plate. I think a lot of people kind of understand that part of it. And these longer guys, sometimes they seemingly understand that a little bit more.
And the beauty of both of these swings, perfect, stop. The beauty of both of these swings is both of these balls kind of got in on them a little bit, right? But the swing is so fundamentally sound and it's so tight to the body and it's so I'm going to make sure I get inside of this baseball that they're able to get to the ball and get enough barrel on the ball to get hits. Now, this one's not going to be the double and right center field gap that Paxton Kling had, but this is – I mean, look at him.
Go a little bit further and get to contact, Lloyd.
Look how tight he is, and this ball is in on him.
Now, here's what I like to talk.
That's a hard pitch.
Here's what I love talking to young hitters about because they think somehow they don't think. Go back a little bit. Go back to the frame you were just at. Young hitters somehow don't understand this thing, and I get it. You kind of get taught a little bit different for a long time, but right here at this spot right here, realistically speaking, if he takes this exact same path, and he had chosen to pull the trigger just a hair later, he could hit this pitch right now where his bat is. You know where that pitch is going to go? It's going straight in the dugout, the first base dugout. But what's going to happen after that? Catcher's going to drop to his knees. He's going to put his hands behind him. The umpire's going to put a ball in his hand, and he's going to throw it back to the pitcher. I would much rather all day be 0-1 and have another pitch to hit than to be 0-4-1 because I couldn't let myself stay here. I couldn't wait it out. I couldn't see a baseball deep. And next thing you know, I've hit a 2-hopper to short and I'm coming back because I've been thrown out by 2.5 steps.
You're just trying to make contact.
Because you just want to make contact. And you just want to put the ball in play. And you think, oh, I hit this hard ground ball. Yeah, good. Find me somebody who got to D1 and or professional baseball by hitting hard ground balls to short and or second.
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Those
So
ground balls are
the
out.
ability to do this is impressive because now I know, all right, that bat's in the zone very early. I just got to pull the trigger earlier.
Well, and that's the other point, right? Look at the bat. Look how level the bat is. It's literally going to go through the zone, right? It's not going to be in and out. It's not going to be here. It's not like that V. It is literally through the zone this way, and that's the only way you're able to get to that pitch that's in, and you're a little bit behind it. So keep going.
Now get to that contact point again.
Stop. So that
part's such an elite
that's
move. When you see guys who don't really get to that barred out front arm, and that means we don't get
Yeah, right there.
that means we're not getting too much front side effort to where you're trying to muscle the ball and you're trying to take over with the front side. That means you're letting your backside do the work like it should, and you keep that gap. Now to be able to keep that gap on a pitch that's in, on a ball that's gotten this far in on you, that's an elite move.
Right.
That is a very elite move. And so just from seeing one swing from him to me is, bro, I don't know where his spot is, but he's going to get a lot of at-bats if he can do that.
No doubt. And look, if you ask him, he's like, man, I got jammed on that. That's not my best swing. That result, yeah, sure. But he's not blocking himself off. He's able to get to that and give himself a chance to get a hit. The great hitters, they say, oh, man, you got lucky. You get all these jam shot hits. No. Good hitters don't get lucky on jam shots. Good hitters put themselves in these positions, and so they're able to get those hits more often than not because they're in this type of position. So now he's fighting through this. He's going to stay through it. Perfect. Like, if that ball is 3 inches, if he's, over towards the barrel, that ball is over the scoreboard. You know what I mean? And so it's that much of a difference. But that position is a very, very, very strong hitting position.
And the other part of it is you get in that position in that part of the count and you're able to do that with that pitch. What do you think that catcher is looking over to the pitching coach and saying, I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
We just got in on him and he still got to it.
Yeah.
He still did what he wanted to do.
And if
he still found a way on.
And he's going to have enough confidence the next time he goes in, they throw that same exact pitch, he's going to be a little earlier. And now that jam single to right center field is now a home run. And I mean, that's a great finish. It's a
really
great
good swing.
finish.
That swing plays, man. That
doubt.
guy's going to find himself into the lineup a lot if he keeps swinging the bat like that. I can tell you that right now.
No doubt. I love the swing. Love the swing. We're going to, I hope y'all like that. We're going to keep doing that throughout the course of the year.
There was one comment. I don't know if you wanted to take those on the show, but I'll read it just because it's the initial one. They said they think he's drifting a little bit in the swing.
Who?
Let me get to his name here.
No. Who's drifting? Which one?
Hey.
Fry?
Dave Endure says his hips are drifting.
Hey, here's the thing.
There's gotta be
No.
some-
But here's the thing. Okay. There's nothing wrong with drifting. You don't want sliding, right? Now, perfectly, I would love for you to not have drift, but you still have to be able to transfer weight.
Yeah.
So to transfer weight means you're going to have to make the move, or there is going to be a hair of drift, right? As long as it's not a complete slide to where we're no longer using the backside, I'm okay with it.
To where you're not losing your posture. Like, he's not striding. So he has to transfer weight from the backside to the front side.
Yeah. We don't want to sit and spin.
You're not yet. You sit and spin. All you're going to do is get rotational, and you're going to start rolling over balls. You can hit a lot of ground balls to the third baseman or shortstop.
Yeah.
If you have transition going forward, that's why his back foot comes up, right? So you see his back foot come off the ground. Like, could he have been a little bit better with it? Probably.
Yeah.
But he is, like I said, this could be 2 strikes. I have no idea. But he's no stride, and he gets in a position, and by the time he's launching, he stops drifting. So he had to, I don't even call it a drift, but he transferred weight to that front side, and now he gets to come through it. If you get stuck on the backside, you can't come through it at all.
Here's the thing. Here's how you know drift, a little bit of drift, if you will, is okay. If you're sliding and not drifting, you won't physically be able to make the moves from the waist up that these
Or
two
you
guys.
lose posture.
You'll lose posture. You won't be able to make the moves from the waist up that these two guys made. So that lets me know, like, could it be a little bit better back there? Yeah, but I'm not gonna nitpick that unless I'm literally the one that's here working with him every single day. But that still plays. It plays in a big way.
If you go look at Mike Trout's swing, and Mike Trout lands from where he starts, he's going to stay in his backside, but he's going to start going forward a little bit, and then by the time his foot lands and he swings, his head doesn't move anymore.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's what you see here. Like, if his head was moving, I would call that a bad drift. But it stops when he offers at it. Boom. Not drifting anymore.
Yeah.
So, I like those swings.
Yeah.
A lot. I think it's going to be good. That was our first time doing that. How did we do, Lloyd?
I think that was excellent. I was locked in.
Nice. We told y'all this is going to be a short show. I apologize. But it's okay. Listen, y'all only want to hear about really the recap of the games, right? Like, we're going to talk about – we have a lot to talk about throughout the course of the year. Right now, this is like everybody feels like you're on the team. Like, oh, we're over this. We're over spring. We're ready for the season to start, all this kind of stuff. And we are too. And that's going to happen on Friday. So I apologize for a short show, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
We got
punch the
our
ticket.
seggies.
Punch the clock.
We got to punch the clock. You got our seggies?
Yes, I have our seggies. I'm pulling up the video right now. I'm trying to find it. But I have two. One, which I think that y'all might appreciate because of what y'all did in the past. And there's a very, I guess, pointed story about the Nike and Fanatics changed the MLB jerseys. Have you seen these new ones?
Terrible.
Terrible.
I don't know why they got rid of Majestic.
Me either.
Well, Nike bought Majestic. Why would you just not use the Majestic uniforms that you've used forever that are the best uniforms ever made?
I think the Fanatics thing. I have a theory on this as to why they look the way that they do, because the replica jerseys that you can buy. Well, first of all, tell me which ones you think are which.
We think is which?
Yeah, what's the new one and what's the old
The
one?
one on the right's the new one.
Okay.
And the one on the left's the old one.
It needs to be the other way around.
It needs to be the other. I mean, look. Why is there like a seam where the shirt gets tucked in? Looks terrible.
I think they look awful.
Looks terrible.
And I think they wanted to do it so where if there would be fans that would be more inclined to buy jerseys, so they basically made a jersey, as opposed to having the big, cumbersome Major League Baseball jersey. These are much more palatable for a fan, I would guess, but also
We'll make those for the fans.
you look. You
Looks
look
terrible.
even more ridiculous, looking exactly like a Major League Baseball player.
I would
in
be
their
pissed
jersey.
off if I was the players. They probably are mad.
That's what I wanted to get to, because I think this is what y'all would have appreciated. Let me see if I can find the tweet.
Who did it? Who tweeted it?
That's what I'm about to. It was
Please tell me it's somebody that has a little bit of like pull.
veteran starter Mikolos.
I mean, yeah, he's been there for a while. He pitched for the Cardinals.
Yeah. And so, as he described the New Jersey veteran starter Mikolos, expressed concern about how it looked, and as well as how it will play, and if players will sweat through the material. Also mentioned that the pants shifted from 3 different measurements to the off the rack 2, and they do not fit him and others quite as well. He's hoping the early reviews will lead to an adjustment of the uniform, but he described what it was like to arrive in the majors and have the choice of fitted pants, the attention to detail, and that heavy jersey with its real logo and your last name stitched in there for the player to see. He said, "This is taking away the magic," which I totally agree with.
100%. Listen to me. When I first got to Major League Spring Training for the first time, and I got to go in there and I got to get the Majestic pants, and I got to go to the tailor, and they say, okay, what do you want? Okay, I want it fitted here. I want it to go taper around my ankles, or I want to get high pants, and that's where I want them to come down to. Then you get the pants, and it says Mahtook on the tag, custom, with all the numbers next to it. You're like, damn, this is for me. These are my pants. Like, this is awesome. You get the jersey. Hey, I want the 44, but I want it taken in a little bit here. Now, if you're John Carlos Stanton,
Oh, they come do
or
everything for you, yeah.
Yeah, if you're
They'll
John
come do it all.
Carlos Stanton, say, hey, I want the 40, and I want it to look like I painted on me because I'm shredded.
Yeah, he
That's
fills
what
it out because they literally penciled it to him.
Yeah.
Like, not that take anything away from him, but he fills it out because
He got that stitched.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally stitched to his skin.
Oh yeah, those aren't regulation sleeves and those aren't regulation gaps there. Yeah.
Well, you'll
But
find out this year what he looks like compared to everybody else.
But to his
everybody's
point,
be like, oh.
But to his point, like, that was what you looked forward to. Like, damn, I'm gonna get the real unis now, and now they got rid of it. That's bullshit.
It feels like that's such a like that. They didn't take any player consideration.
Of course
into this.
not.
Like,
Why would they?
Yeah, it's baseball.
Why would they?
But that feels like something that would have come up immediately. Like if you want to say it's like, childish or whatever.
Listen
But
to
I
me.
think that's something that everybody would dream of.
Do you know
'cause-
the different sizes of human beings that play baseball? you have.
Oh, you just want me to put this 38 on? Huh?
Yeah.
You want. So you're saying Jose Altuve's got choice of 3 sizes, and then you got who's the pitcher for the Blue Jays? That was Manoah, who's 325 pounds, and he's got 3 sizes to pick from.
Randy Johnson walks in next.
You have
No, I mean you said it
Judge,
perfect.
who's 6'7".
No, dude, you're saying it perfect. Like Jose Altuve wears that jersey now. I would imagine there's probably at some point it's going to get retired, probably that number there. But let's just say it's not immediately retired, and the next guy that loved number 2, that always wanted to wear number 2, gets drafted to that team, and he has to go play there, and he wants to wear number 2, and he gets to the big leagues. Do you think they put in the same uniform on? Or what you gonna tell him? Nah, dude, you can't wear this number.
You got 3 sizes. That's just, to me, it's just stupid. Like, stupid. It's not football. We just put the jersey over. It's not. No.
That doesn't matter because those are all made.
That's what I mean.
Those are all made the same way
That's
too.
what I mean. Like football, you have pads and shit on. Like, just that bugs me so much.
I figured that would get
That's
you.
such a stupid thing.
One of the biggest, one of the best feelings about being in a big league situation is I get to customize this uniform. That's kind of the feel of I've made it. If you ever watch like rookies that come up, they all got big flappy ass uniforms on. That year 2, when they know they're there and they've gone through a spring training and they get all that fitting stuff, they all fit. They just change it up. It's one of those things, and you take that away, it kind of takes something away. Like the game is the game, but it takes away from that feeling.
Yep.
Well, it also goes into the time that you spend to go there, and it's like that, like eureka moment almost, where you're like, I grinded all the way through the minor leagues, get the call up. I don't care if it's for a day or if it's forever. Like when you see your name on the back of the jersey, I'd imagine it means a little more when it looks like it's been professionally stitched. And like, this is the shit I was thinking of whenever I got since I've been
best,
playing ball.
Yeah.
It's the best. I mean, I don't get what they're doing.
That's your mistake of the day.
It's brought to you by Dozy
It was
Place.
doing a Valentines Day special if you'd like to go. $60.
Well, it's too late for that.
Oh no, it's a dinner.
And it's dinner time right now.
Yeah, if they were to go, if they're in the car.
I'd imagine that's probably sold out.
If you're there right now listening, you have 2 choices of entrees, 2 choices of appetizers, 2 choices of desserts.
There you go. Look at you. Nice
Yeah.
pub.
Thank you. You get steak or chicken.
Steak or chicken. All right. Curtain Call is brought to you by our friends at Assured Partners.
And
Me? What we got today, Lloyd?
before all of the poor behavior went down in Kansas City, it was a great time. And nobody took more advantage of it than one Willie Gay, who should have been an LSU Tiger. This would have been a great moment if he had been. But here is Willie Gay taking in the parade as only one can do. I have some other pictures too, but this is just iconic. I mean, this man, he was sprinting he was racing the team bus, and he beat it down there, gets down there and gets it from the crowd a little bit. So shout out Willie Gay. And then he did an interview laying down with a reporter on the sidewalk. He was just all...
Dude, I love that.
And-
Live it up, man.
Exactly. The way that they talked about the parade, I was listening to McAfee, and the way that they talked about like the Super Bowl parade, it was in the trenches with A.Q. Shipley, and like the way that they romanticized the parade, I wasn't familiar with.
It's awesome, I'd imagine.
So I like that's.
We never had a parade. I never got to do a
No.
parade like that. It's cool.
Like I always thought it was just something that they did, but it turns out it's
No,
like
they
a huge
look forward
deal.
to the parade.
I mean, you get absolutely
Everybody except for
plastered.
Jokic.
Except for Jokic.
Then he ended up loving it. I was
I
wrong.
mean, have you ever ridden on a float in a parade?
Yeah.
How much fun is it?
It's the most fun. You
Imagine-
can't even go back.
Imagine riding in a float in a parade that is for just you.
Yeah.
Just you.
Like you are the reason that they're having
Yeah.
this parade.
You
Yeah.
can't do anything wrong. Oh, yeah. Last year, Mahomes gave the Super Bowl trophy away on accident. Did you see that clip?
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady it's buttoned up. Tom Brady got hammered through the Super Bowl trophy from boat to boat in Tampa, which is amazing.
Yeah, Gronk hit one through a pitching machine.
That's it.
Yeah.
When
it's
you got 7 of them, Tom was like, 7?
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, you got one?
Yeah, even though I'm holding this thing since
Is it basketball?
this is a basketball, but I'm gonna go ahead and give a little love to what's about to start here, right? Because the next time we talk to you guys, it'll be a couple hours until the first pitch that we will see thrown that day, and probably around the country, right? But it's baseball season. It's here.
It's here.
So
Finally.
we'll curtain call the baseball season. Now it's go time.
We had an exciting year last year, not just on the team, but for us personally, and we can't wait. Again, what?
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, we had some moments.
We had a time.
We had some moments.
A
Memorable
time
year
was
one.
had.
Memorable year one. Can't imagine what memorable year two is gonna look
year
like.
two, don't we,
We got
guys?
some other things working on the behind the
Only
scenes.
up from here.
Only up. We're like, we good. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. All right. My curtain call is to a lot of people aren't gonna like this.
That's what my face was because I was really excited about what y'all were talking about, but then I saw what you sent and I was floored.
I know
I
it's
knew
tough.
it was coming, but
So people didn't like him on CBS when he called
LSU.
LSU or SEC games. Old Vern Lundquist has been calling the Masters. Does a very good job. Like, I like Vern on the Masters. This will be his 40th Masters that he is calling, and it'll be his last one. And that is my current call because he is a legend. Whether you like him or not, he's very good at what he does. He is awesome in the golf booth. And
Uncle Vern.
shout out to Uncle Vern. Grandpa
Shout
Vern.
out. Yeah, so I hope that maybe, God, I was going to make my other, both were going to be fashion related. And I have a third that I'll use Friday. But
Yeah, there you go.
the Tiger Woods unveiling of the.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Didn't like it. And
You
Tiger
like
said,
the
I don't
Sunday
care.
red?
Sun.
Yeah, he didn't
Day
like it.
Red. They said they did it 3 words because it has an 86% more marketability.
Yeah, the market people say.
Analytics, baby, everywhere.
Like, he has so many iconic poses, he could have just went the Jumpman route and everybody been like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, what's up?
One of those, one of
Fist
these.
pumps, yeah.
So we got to go with the fist pump, right?
Yeah,
Like
a
that.
mugshot.
Yeah,
Oh,
all
wow.
of it.
That's aggressive.
All right.
Car wreck.
That's all we got.
Car wreck.
That's all we got. You can have the golf club in the back of his window.
Yes.
The back window, the whole deal.
You should make a
That's all-
sticker.
Yeah. That's all we got for today. Happy Valentine's
Collab
Day.
with Escalade and do it.
Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll be back here live in studio on Friday, not from 1 to 3.
Not.
From 11:30 to 1. We will have our friend Dougie Thompson on here breaking down the game, previewing the game before he goes and calls the game. And we'll talk about what we expect to see on Friday with Thatcher on the bump. And looking forward to the opening day of baseball season. Enjoy your Wednesday. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. We love you. We appreciate you. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do it. We appreciate you for doing that. If you don't like to watch us and you only like to listen to us, you can get us anywhere you get your pods.
Then you're going to really love that breakdown
And you're going to love the breakdown
on the podcast.
on the podcast. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to really know what we're
It's a
talking
visual
about.
show. Come find
It's
us
a
on
visual
YouTube,
show.
baby.
It's a visual show. We love you. We appreciate you. Enjoy your Wednesday. Peace.
Valentine's Day is a made-up holiday. Y'all are all
You're supposed to be doing this. You're
corporate
supposed to do this all the
shills.
time with your significant other. This is
Yeah.
the only time you take them out on a date, you're doing something wrong.
Doing something wrong. Make that be a PSA.
Shame on you.
Shame, shame.
Shame. But thank
Shame,
you for
shame.
watching the show.